Hi, first graders. Welcome back to Writer's Workshop. Before we get started, let's make sure we're ready to learn. So eyes watching, ears listening, quiet as a mouse, and still like a pretzel. Okay, so the last time we met, we talked about the 5 parts of a paragraph. We talked about our opening, where we name our topic, or in our case, we're going to name our opinion. We talked about the 3 details that we include to support our opinion. Okay, we also call that the strong argument. And then we have at the end our closing, and that is basically where we go back and say our opening again using slightly different words. Today we are going to learn about transition words. Okay, that's probably the first time you've heard about transition words. So what are they? Transition words are words that help the reader move from one idea to the next idea. We use transition words to connect our supporting details together. Okay, so this is where they go in the paragraph. Each transition word is a signal to your reader that you are giving them another reason to support your argument. Okay, so it's kind of like a new idea. Here's a list of transition words that you'll probably use maybe in 4th or 5th grade. There's quite a few. Here's a list of transition words that you will use maybe in high school or college. Okay, lots of big, long transition words here. Not to worry, my friends. In 1st grade, we keep it pretty simple. Okay? We use the transition words first, and then we give our detail number 1, next, and then we give our detail number 2, and last, detail number 3. So first, next, last. If we have a really strong argument, we might need to add another one, in which case it would be first, next, then last. Okay? But for now, we're just going to worry about first, next, last. There's a few things that you need to remember when you're using transition words, okay? Spelling counts. There's really no reason why you should be misspelling transition words. Somewhere in your classroom, you probably have a word wall or some place to check the spelling of your transition words. So we really want to see that you are spelling them correctly. The second thing that you need to remember is that they're all going to have an uppercase letter at the beginning. Okay, so we have learned that all sentences begin with an uppercase, and transition words are no differently. These are all going to be at the beginning of your sentence, first, next, and last. So they all need to have an uppercase letter. Okay? And the last thing you need to remember is that after a transition word, you use a comma. And that is this little tiny curved line that goes right after the transition word, crossing the grass line. Okay, so it's just like a little curved mark. Okay, a comma tells whoever is reading your writing that they need to take a little tiny breath. Okay, it just kind of means like take a little pause, and that's what it means. So here in that paragraph about summer, you will see that I have my transition words to connect my details together. Each of them has an uppercase letter. Each of them is spelled correctly. And each of them has a comma at the end. Okay? First, next, and last. Okay? Before I let you go, I just want to remind you on this next slide, don't forget that after you put your final detail, that you need to add your closing. Sometimes first graders forget that because when they get to their last detail and they're saying last, you can go to barbecues, you kind of forget like, oh, I'm not quite finished yet. I still need to add that closing that goes back and says the same thing that my opening said in slightly different way, okay? So now it's your turn to use transition words. You can use transition words just like we do. Okay, and don't forget that transition words connect our thoughts and give our writing a nice flow. Okay, my friends, I will see you next time. Happy writing.